Have you ever experienced this paradox in love? They don't distance themselves because they've stopped loving you, but perhaps because they love you too much. Why do those who truly care sometimes choose silence and walk away? Is it indifference or a deep-seated fear they don't even understand themselves? Sometimes distance isn't the end, it's a test of real love. So what does their silence truly mean? Let's uncover the hidden truth behind love, fear, and personal growth. If you found this Keanu Reeves motivational video meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on more profound life lessons. Love is a mystery that defies all logic. At times, it is as sweet as a melodic tune, lulling one into a state of boundless happiness. Yet, it can also be as merciless as a raging storm, sweeping away emotions and leaving behind an emptiness that is impossible to fill. Anyone who has ever loved sincerely understands that love can bring endless joy, but it can also sow confusion and pain. Imagine having a deep connection with someone, a bond that feels unbreakable. You sense their presence as something certain, something undeniable. Then suddenly they begin to drift away. No arguments, no clear signs, only silence and distance. The texts grow infrequent. They no longer seek you out as they once did. Slowly, they fade from your life, withdrawing without a word of explanation. Most people in this situation share a common thought. This is a sign of fading affection, an unspoken declaration that love has died. If they truly loved me, they would never be this silent. It is what we tell ourselves to accept the painful reality. But what if the silence is not a sign of indifference? What if the distance they create is not because they have stopped loving you, but because they love you too much? One of the greatest thinkers emphasized that people are often driven by internal conflicts they themselves do not fully understand. Sometimes, when emotions become too intense, the fear of loss grows even stronger. The deeper the love, the greater the vulnerability. And to protect themselves, some people choose to step back, retreating into the safety of solitude, even when their hearts remain full of love. So, when someone starts keeping their distance, do not be so quick to conclude that their love has vanished. Perhaps they are battling themselves, struggling to contain emotions they do not know how to face. They fear that if they stay close, their love will become too overwhelming, too consuming, and that one day, you may leave, leaving them to endure unbearable pain. Love is not always expressed through sweet words or clear gestures of care. Sometimes, love manifests in silence, not to create distance, but to find a way to come closer in a way even they are not ready to acknowledge. Psychologists have given us invaluable insights into the hidden workings of a human mind. And today, I want to explore with you a different aspect of love, the one concealed in the shadows of the subconscious, where someone may quietly withdraw at the very moment the bond grows strongest. Be prepared to embrace a truth that may completely change how you perceive love. Love is not merely a fleeting emotion or an exchange of affections between two people. It is a complex phenomenon, deeply rooted in the mind, influencing not only the conscious but also the unconscious, the hidden realm where fears, wounds, and unspoken desires reside. Extensive psychological studies have shown that the human mind is divided into two vast worlds: the conscious, where we control our thoughts and actions, and the unconscious, a mysterious territory where our deepest fears, unresolved pain, and secret yearnings exist. We often believe that emotions in love are straightforward. If someone loves us, they will show it, care for us, and make it known. But the truth is far more intricate. Sometimes it is because one loves too deeply that they step back. The fear of getting hurt, the fear of losing the other person, becomes an invisible force that pushes them away. They do not leave because they have stopped loving. They leave because they do not know how to love without fear. Have you ever seen someone suddenly turn distant and cold when the relationship was at its peak? It is not necessarily because they are indifferent. It may be because they are waging an internal war, a battle between the desire for closeness and the terror of loss. When love runs too deep, the unconscious mind can react in ways even they do not recognize, creating distance, concealing their true feelings, sometimes even convincing themselves that they no longer love. We often assume that if someone truly loves us, they will always be there, unwavering and steadfast. But sometimes it is precisely because love is profound that people step back. This does not mean we should tolerate pain or wait in uncertainty, but it does help us understand that love is a complex journey where reason and emotion are in constant conflict. And if we can perceive the hidden truths behind the distance, we will develop a new perspective on love, one that is patient enough not to make hasty conclusions, yet strong enough not to lose ourselves. Consciousness is the part of the mind we control, where we believe we understand ourselves and know what we want in love. But beneath the surface lies another world, the unconscious, where repressed emotions, unhealed wounds, hidden desires, and long-ignored fears reside. We think we love for certain reasons, but in reality, the unconscious is the silent force guiding our choices, fears, and even the moments when we unintentionally sabotage a relationship we deeply cherish. To truly love is to undergo a profound transformation. Love is not just about seeing dreams and hopes reflected in another person's eyes. It is also about confronting the darkest corners of ourselves, the wounds we thought had healed, the insecurities we believed we had overcome, the hidden recesses of our souls we never wanted to face. People often say that love is a mirror, reflecting not only our desires, but also our deepest fears. And not everyone is ready to face that reflection. Some people, when confronted with genuine love, suddenly feel uneasy and restless. They become acutely aware of their own shortcomings, the internal contradictions they have long denied. And in that moment, an unconscious defense mechanism is triggered. They step back. They create distance. Not because the love is not real, but because it is too overwhelming. This fear is not always easy to recognize. Sometimes it disguises itself as indifference, as vague justifications for retreat. They do not leave because they have stopped loving, but because they do not know how to love without feeling exposed to their deepest vulnerabilities. To truly love someone is to allow them to see you, not just the admirable parts, but also the imperfections you try to hide. Yet, not everyone has the courage to bare their soul in such a way. And so, they chose to walk away. Not because their hearts no longer stirred, but because that love touched wounds they were not yet ready to heal. When love exposes our vulnerabilities, it is not just a source of sweetness, but also a challenge beyond our control. Some, instead of confronting their inner turmoil, choose to retreat. They disappear. They remain silent. They ignore, not because they have stopped loving, but because they do not know how to love without facing the darkest corners of their souls. The belief that love is always a safe haven is an illusion. Yes, love can bring peace, but it can also shake the very foundations of our beliefs, awaken deep-seated insecurities, and stir wounds we thought had long faded. Every time a genuine relationship forms, the unconscious mind immediately activates, triggering defense mechanisms we are often unaware of. To love and be loved means allowing someone else to see us as we truly are, without masks, without walls. It is a leap not everyone has the courage to take. Those who have experienced abandonment and loss may carry an unspoken fear whispering, "Do not trust anyone." They have trusted before, and that trust was betrayed. They have opened their hearts, only to be hurt. So even when they yearn for love, a part of them trembles, seeking escape. This internal conflict makes them paradoxical. They crave closeness, yet fear pain. They long for love, yet subconsciously sabotage it. So when you love someone like this, you may see them pull away just as things become deep and real. Not because they do not cherish the love, but because their fear is so overwhelming that they cannot bear to be seen, to be vulnerable once again. Those who have faced disappointment in the past may have come to believe that love is dangerous, It is not just a source of happiness, but also a potential cause of suffering. Those accustomed to control may feel threatened by an emotion as intense and unpredictable as love. Love cannot be neatly arranged into careful plans. It refuses to fit into the structure they are familiar with. Psychology teaches us that what we refuse to confront does not disappear. It merely lies dormant, waiting to resurface in our relationships. If someone feels that love makes them too exposed, if they fear losing themselves within it, their unconscious mind may trigger a defense mechanism, creating distance. They do not truly want to leave, nor do they wish to lose love. But deep within, fear overpowers reason, trapping them in an internal battle between the desire for love and the need for self-preservation. From the outside, this behavior seems irrational. Why would someone in love push themselves away? Why would they ignore someone they deeply care about? The answer lies in how the mind processes inner conflict. Love, as wonderful as it is a force powerful enough to strip us bare. It forces us to confront ourselves, to face our wounds, our insecurities, and the fears we have buried. And not everyone is ready for that. Like any powerful force, love can become a source of imbalance. For many, emotional intimacy is both a longing and a fear. They want someone to share the hidden parts of their soul, yet they also fear that such closeness will awaken old wounds, create dependency, or strip them of control. That is why they respond with contradictions. They express love, then withdraw. They seek connection, then disappear. They say they want a relationship, yet avoid meaningful conversations. Because love is not merely about harmony. It ignites an invisible battle between the craving for closeness and the fear of intimacy. The deeper the love, the greater the fear. And when someone feels themselves being drawn in too deeply, they may unconsciously seek to regain control. They step away, remain silent, create distance, not because they have stopped loving, but because their mind has triggered a defense mechanism from the darkest corners of their subconscious. They do not choose this consciously. It is more like an instinct, a reflex to protect themselves from what they are not yet ready to face. When someone who loves you suddenly becomes distant, your first instinct might be to wonder what you did wrong. You replay every word, every action, searching for a reason behind their change. But the truth is, most of the time, it has nothing to do with you. It is not your fault. It is a battle within themselves. Do not rush to take the blame. Distance does not always mean indifference. Sometimes, it is a sign of an inner storm, a struggle they do not know how to articulate. In those moments, the worst thing you can do is chase after them, trying to hold on, demanding an explanation. Because if someone is withdrawing out of fear, the more you try to pull them back, the more they will run. It is the mind's instinct for self-protection. When someone feels threatened by closeness, what they need is not pressure but space. True love is not about possession, nor is it about control. It is about understanding. It is a love vast enough to allow the other person to face their fears without feeling suffocated. But what makes this even more complicated is that sometimes distance is not just an unconscious reaction. It is a test. Some people walk away not because they no longer love, but because they want to see if love can survive in their absence. They want to test if the connection is strong enough to withstand distance or if it is fragile, reliant on constant reassurance. Sounds unfair, doesn't it? But this is often the nature of hearts afraid of being bound. They create distance as a wall of defense, a space that makes them feel safe from being consumed by emotions they are not ready to handle. They do not want to feel trapped in a relationship they cannot control. However, those who use distance as a test are often not yet ready for a lasting love. Because true love does not need artificial trials. It is built on trust, on genuine presence, not on mind games or cycles of disappearing and returning. Those who leave may come back, but the real question is, if someone chooses to leave, holding on to them out of fear of loss holds no meaning. Because if it is true love, if it is a bond worth preserving, then distance is not the end. It is a necessary step for the relationship to grow. Separation does not always mean farewell. Sometimes, it is the silence needed for each person to understand themselves, their emotions, and the other person more deeply. But what if they never return? What if that love disappears forever? Before delving into this crucial question, I genuinely hope that what you are reading brings you empathy and inspiration. If you find this content valuable, do not hesitate to share it with those who might need it. And if you wish to support what we are doing, leaving even a small sign of appreciation means the world to us. Every bit of encouragement is invaluable. Now, let us return to what truly matters. If a love does not return, then that separation is not a loss, is a lesson. True love is not a battle to keep someone by your side at all costs. It is the ability to let them choose freely. Love is not about possession, but about giving each other enough space to truly understand what we want. And if they walk away, if they choose not to return, it only proves that the love was never as strong as we believed. We do not lose what truly belongs to us. If something has to leave, perhaps it came only to teach us an important lesson before continuing its own journey. And sometimes that lesson is not about holding on, but about letting go. Not because we are not enough, but because we deserve a love that is steadfast, a person who is ready to stay. We often think of love as something to be conquered or preserved at all costs. But in reality, true love is not measured by time. It is measured by the mark it leaves on our hearts. Some people enter our lives not to stay forever, but to show us something we had never realized before. Sometimes, the absence of someone can teach us more than their presence. The void they leave forces us to look inward and ask, are we afraid of losing them? Or are we afraid of facing the emptiness within ourselves? Perhaps they touched the deepest corners of our soul, awakening emotions we had long buried. This is why, even when love ends in distance, it can still be an opportunity for growth. We may hurt, we may feel broken, we may not be ready to accept it, but perhaps someone's departure is the catalyst for change we never had the courage to face alone. Because in the end, love is not just about wanting to be with someone. Love is not merely about wanting to be with someone. It is about gaining a deeper understanding of ourselves through what we feel. And there is an often overlooked truth. Those who leave sometimes do not even understand why. Many people are unaware of their own inner world. They do not realize that love can awaken old fears, deeply ingrained defense mechanisms built over years. The power of reflection. Sometimes when a person leaves, they are not running away from us, but from the version of themselves they are not ready to face. Their absence is not a judgment of our worth. It is a mirror reflecting their own internal conflicts. This is why holding on or demanding explanations often creates more distance. The real question is not why someone leaves, but whether they are willing to return with a new mindset, a renewed sense of awareness. Not everyone could do that, but those who overcome their fears and come back will carry a different kind of maturity. Only then can love truly endure. Love is a force that can heal, but it can also evoke fear. Not everyone who walks away does so because they no longer love us. Sometimes, love itself is overwhelming. It shakes the foundations of what they once believed, awakens fears they thought were buried, and even disrupts the identity they thought they possessed. If someone has left you, do not rush to find answers externally. Look within. Ask yourself, what is their departure awakening in me? Because as Jung once said, the most profound love we can find is the love that helps us understand ourselves. And the greatest truth about love is this. If it is real, it does not need to be forced. It will always find its way back. So what about you? Have you ever experienced a love that left just when you thought it was at its strongest? Share your story. Sometimes, our experiences can be the light that guides others. Remember, true love is not a chain, but a journey of growth. It comes close, it moves away, but most importantly, those who leave us are not always running from us. They may be running from what our love awakened in them. But if that love is real, no matter how lost it gets, it will always find its way back. In the end, love is not about possession or control. It is about the journey of two souls finding each other. even if it means traveling through distance. The one who leaves you today may not be trying to lose you. They may be battling themselves. And sometimes distance is the very test that strengthens love. Have you ever experienced this? What are your thoughts on love and distance? Share your thoughts in the comments. Who knows? Your story might help someone find the answers they are searching for. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found this content meaningful, do not forget to hit like to spread the message. Share it with those who might need to hear this, and subscribe to our channel to continue exploring life's profound lessons with us. See you in the next video.